and enjoy the program.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to another episode on My Health, Your Health. I'm Sanusi Rebecca, and I'm so excited to be here once again as we discuss issues concerning our health. And today we'll be discussing a topic: ear disorder. Ear disorder, and with me is an awesome guest on the show today as we discuss and answer questions surrounding the ear. I have with me this morning a doctor in training at the University College Hospital UCH Ibadan. His name is Itinoluwa Omolade. So, Mr. Itinu, you are welcome to the show this morning, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, I would love you to say a good morning to my listeners out there, sir.
All right. Good morning, beautiful listeners of the Talk Show. I hope that this particular podcast will be very valuable to you all. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So let's discuss the topic ear disorder. What exactly is ear disorder? Is it the same as when the ear is paining you, when you have pains in the ear, or is ear pain is just one of it? What exactly is ear disorder?
Okay. Hear disorder is anything that is a deviation from the normal structure that refers to the physical structure of the ear, and which consequently affects the function of the ear. So it could be as simple as a trauma to the ear, a pain to the ear, as long as we're not talking about hearing now, so it's about the hair. So yes, anything from that is hair disorder, as long as then another major factor that qualifies it as a disorder is if it's persistent.
Okay.
That's what makes an ear disorder.
Okay, when it is persistent and anything that is causing a deviation of the ear from its function, that's ear disorder.
Yes.
All right. So, what exactly causes ear disorder? What exactly causes it? Are there symptoms? How do I know that? Okay, I have issues with my ear. Okay, I'm having ear disorder. Is it only the persistence? Is that only the symptoms, or there are other things that will make me know that okay, my ear is presently going through a disorder?
All right. Yes, I think it's important that we know exactly what the ear does. Most people are just aware that the ear is used for hearing. That's sound. We don't know that the ear also has functions for balance, our orientation in space. So the reason why you can stand without falling and you can measure distances without, falling, and one of the reasons is because of the function of your ear. Wow. So the ear is actually divided into three parts. So we have the external ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The external ear is what we can see, and everything on the inside is what makes up the middle and the internal ear. So, and all of those things have different functions. So, symptoms that could be related to ear disorder would be discharge from your ear. You are not able to hear loudly, or people have to shout before you can hear what somebody else will hear at a normal distance or normal pitch. It would mean you are feeling dizzy. It's associated with your hair too. You could have itchiness of your ear, dry, flaky ears, excessive wax production, just a lot of things that surround the ear. There's so many things that the ear does.
Okay. So most times we are majorly familiar with ear being for hearing, but just like you said, there are actually functions such as balance. Okay, so can ear disorder be avoided? Can we avoid it? Are there things we can do to avoid us going through ear disorder?
Yes, we can avoid ear disorders. We can avoid any kind of trouble to the ear as long as it's not congenital. That means you're not born with it, because people can be born with ear disorders, maybe from an infection that was transmitted from their mom to them, or maybe they're born with a small-sized ear. So aside what you cannot control, every other thing around the ear you can control. So basic lifestyle, our diet actually affects our hair, because hormones are controlling some of the things that the ear does. It's important that you maintain a healthy lifestyle. Anyone who begins to age, normally there's a degeneration of normal function. So elderly people usually are prone to have certain problems with the ear. So it's important that they are extra careful with their health.
Okay.
You know, as they age, diabetes and kidney diseases affect how functional the ear gets. It's important that we protect our hair from unnecessary trauma or pressure. A lot of people that have hair problems are boxers. You know, they have to receive a lot of punches on their ear, so it's important that we avoid that. Trauma to the ear we must avoid that, and let's avoid allowing water to get into our ears. It's one of the things that can affect the hair.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that response. Now, you talked about the fact that diets, we should pay attention to our diets. Are there diets that we can eat that can actually affect the air? Because you were mentioning the fact that diet affects our air, like as a result of some hormones that have been released. You mentioned hormones, so I really need you to explain that, sir.
All right. So there is a fluid in the air. It's called the endolymph that surrounds the air, and it's one of its job is to protect the air by keeping it at normal pressure. So I will take, for example, those who have high blood pressure. One of the major things that their body is not able to control is salt intake. So our salt intake must be in moderation. There are really no specific diets that one must avoid as such, but it's important because there might just be a lot. It's important that everything we do, we put it in moderation. Whenever it gets too excessive, it affects the balance of the substances that make the endolymph. So we must just make sure that we don't overdo anything. Sugar, keep it at barest minimum, because before it actually affects the ear, it's already producing something somewhere else on the body.
Wow.
You get that?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that explanation. Now let's discuss hearing loss. Now.
All right.
Okay. Are there symptoms of hearing loss, and also is it natural to hear in one ear more than the other?
Okay. Yes, hearing loss. There are symptoms to hearing loss, and I think the major symptom is depending on the severity of how the hearing loss is. But basically, the difference is the degree. Hearing loss basically means that for somebody, you cannot hear a sound except it's louder than 30 decibels.
Wow.
And for somebody who can hear properly, they should be able to hear sounds lower than that. So somebody who can't hear has some degree of hearing loss, you need to speak to them at a volume that is louder than 30 decibels.
Okay.
So for someone who has partial hearing loss, it might be they can hear between 30 and 45.
Okay.
Somebody that has moderate hearing loss might be between 45 and 60. Somebody who has severe hearing loss between 60 and 90 decibels, and then somebody who cannot even hear at all.
Okay.
That's somebody, even at 90 decibels, they can't hear anything, and that is what we call deafness.
Okay.
So, to your next question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, yes, remind me, please.
Okay, I said, is it natural to hear in one ear more than the other? This is a question from one of my listeners that wants me to ask you on the show as regarding ear. He said, is it natural to hear in one ear more than the other?
All right. Yes. It's almost natural to hear one ear than the other because the ears are positioned on two different sides of the brain. Okay. You know. So depending on now, for example, one of the things that affects how much we hear is the side that faces the signal that the sound is coming from.
Okay.
So you may not really be able to ascertain that the ear facing that sound can pick the sound better than the one on the other side because the way the ear is designed is just like your eyes. So having two eyes allows you to cover a wide range.
Yes.
So having two ears gives you the ability to cover sound on a wide range.
Okay.
So until you shut down one ear, you might not be able to hear as much as you do. So, but it's natural. The way the ear is designed, although both ears should have the same level of ability to pick sound, but depending on where the sound is, that can affect which ear is better than the other. But now, when the disparity between the sound on both ears is becoming very visible to you, it's likely that there's a problem with one ear.
Okay.
Because some of the symptoms or the diseases that we have about the ear, they affect one ear, they may not affect both ears. When it affects both ears, it's most likely it's even a congenital thing. But if it's acquired, it's most likely going to affect just one ear.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that response, and I hope my listeners have picked a response from it. In the case whereby you are noticing too much disparity, then you should know that there's an issue with an ear, and you need to reach out to your doctor. Okay. So let's come back to the part of water entering the air. Now, in a case whereby mistakes happen, you can even avoid allowing water enter your ear, but then there are times whereby some mistakes that are not expected happen. Maybe you were bathing and you mistakenly let the water enter your ear. So in a case whereby there's a entering of water into one's ear, what can be done immediately, and can it cause ear disorder?
All right. Yes. Water getting into the ear is very common because we always interact with water. I can imagine anybody going to have a swim. Water will get into your ear. However, God is so good. The design of the ear in such a way that when something gets into the ear, there are things that are inside the ear, like the wax and the hair that is there, that helps to prevent entry into the delicate parts of the hair. So usually what you have to do when water gets into the ear is to turn your ear towards the side of turn your head rather towards the side of the ear that water is in, and just bend it so that the water can drain out. And then you just get a towel and then clean your external ear as much as possible. Try to avoid getting into the canal of your ear, because the ear is designed to remove anything that gets into the ear. And then water, yes, can cause an infection in the ear as long as it stays for too long. That's why it's important that whenever water gets into your ear, one of the ways you will know that water has entered your ear is that whenever you're speaking, your sound becomes quite dull, muffled. So it's a symptom or a sign that water has gotten into your ear. So what you need to do is what you can do immediately is to turn your head towards the side of the ear that has received water, and then you drain it. It should fall off naturally because of the design of your ear. And then get a towel and just clean the external ear. If that doesn't work, then you should see your doctor. Please avoid trying to put something inside the passage or the canal of your ear because you want to get water out. It's dangerous. You might end up perforating the eardrum. And if water gets in there, that's worse.
Wow. All right. Just like my doctor explained, whenever water enters your ear, the first thing that you notice is that your voice will sound dull whenever you are speaking, and the very quick thing that you can do is that you twist your head towards that side whereby water enters. Then you allow the water to fall with your towel, and with that the water will come out naturally. Now, the other time when you were talking about this, you mentioned earwax. Is it that earwax helps to prevent water from entering into the ear? And are there benefits of earwax? Because people tend to clean earwax. Is it that there are health benefits to earwax? And can earwax be removed totally from the ear?
Okay. Concerning earwax, actually, I think that's one of the most misunderstood and underappreciated functions of the ear. The middle ear actually produces earwax. Is it the middle ear? I think the external ear, the second part of the external ear, actually produces the wax. And it has a function. It has a protective function for the ear. It's designed to collect debris, dust. So for people who live in tropical regions, Nigeria, for example,